Adillatul Qiblah. Over 1,000 years ago, the scholars mentioned the easy, religiously recognized signs for determining the Qiblah. And Nawawi also said, وَلَا يَصِحُّ الْاجْتِهَادُ إِلَّا بِأَدِلَّةِ الْقِبْلَةِ وَهِيَ كَثِيرَةٌ فِيهَا كُتُبٌ مُصَنَّفَةٌ وَأَضْعَفُهَا الرِّيَاحُ لِاخْتِلَافِهَا وَأَقْوَاهَا الْقُطُبُ. It is not valid to make the determination except by using the Qibla references, and they are many. There are books authored about them. The weakest of them is the wind because of its fluctuation, and the strongest of them is the Polaris, North Star. When one makes his determination for the direction, he uses the previously mentioned signs. We will focus on the strongest sign. As will be repeated, the North Star plays two roles. Not only does it give the direction of north if one were to face it, and the south by turning one's back to it, but it also proves how far north or south one is in the northern part of the world. In Mecca, one sees the North Star very close to the horizon. In the United States, one sees the North Star even higher, further from the horizon. In Canada, one sees it even higher until reaching very far north, where one would find the North Star directly overhead. This means that Mecca is south of the United States and Canada. And then here's a picture. So we see the sun in the west with a W over it, which means that we, looking at this image as if we are the east. The one looking at the image is in the east, and the sun is in the other direction, ready to set in the west. Then you have the south and the north on both sides of the image. You see the black cube on that surface, which is the Kaaba.
Right.
And you see the star over the N in the north. So that's the North Star, of course. When the person is very far north, he looks directly overhead and he sees the North Star. If a person were, for example, in USA or Canada, then he sees the North Star on more of an angle, but still high from the horizon. If a person were at the Kaaba, as you can see, he sees the North Star at a much lower angle, closer to the horizon in relation to him. And then that curved arrow there is their Qibla arc.
Right.
That's their right turn that they deny. They think they're going up a hill or up a mountain and coming back down while they're actually making a right turn.
Right. So now if I walk out my house tonight, right, and the stars are out, and I look directly above, I'll see the North Star.
No, we're not north enough to look directly, straight up into the sky.
Okay.
When we see the North Star at our latitude, it's going to be, at an angle.
Right.
So it's going to be more of just an angle, lifting your head up, but not all the way up, looking directly above your head for the likes of our latitude.
And then looking in the north direction.
Yes.
Okay.
It will always be in the north.
Okay.
Yeah, the North Star. That's why it's the strongest sign.
Right.
Because it stays in its place.
Right. It stays right there.
Yes.
Okay. And the North Star is like angling the Kaaba, but if it was over the top of it, it would be right above it. But it's angling it, right?
The North Star, it won't be over the Kaaba because it's going to be very close to the horizon to them. So it's like just looking into the horizon, and just a little bit above the horizon, for them, they're going to see the North Star.
Got you.
It's like, for example, when we want to see the new moon for Ramadan, we don't look up into the sky. We're not going to find the moon above our heads. We look into the western horizon, and we'll see that moon appearing above the horizon.
Right.
It's not going to go very, very high.
Right.
So at the Kaaba, you won't see the North Star very high. It's just going to be above the horizon.
Right, but lined up with the Kaaba. Okay.
So is this diagram here clear for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's like it's lined up. As you can see, that arrow from the Kaaba to that star is almost straight ahead. Okay. The one who learns properly will be able to find the directions any time of day or night and face the proper direction. The one who learns properly will be able to find the directions any time of day or night and face the proper direction. Since Mecca is southeast of our position, one can find east in the morning by finding the light of dawn or the horizon of sunrise. Face that direction and then turn to the right slightly. At the zenith, noon, the sun is in the center of the sky. One can then know north and south by facing the sun. In the southern regions like Australia, the sun will be in the northern sky. And in the northern regions like the USA and Canada, it will be in the southern sky. Meaning, when the sun is at its zenith, exactly at its zenith, which only lasts for a few moments, then for us, for example, we're in the northern part of the world, the sun runs in the southern sky. So when that sun reaches its zenith, and if we were to face the sun head on, we will be facing due south. Because when we say the sun is at its zenith, that means it's between the east and the west.
Right.
So the sun is between the east and the west, and for us, it's towards the south. So when it's between the east and the west, when we face it at its zenith, our backs will be to the north.
Right.
If we were in Australia and we faced it, our backs would be to the south. That's clear?
Clear.
In the beginning of the night, if he relies on the horizon of sunset, then he puts his back to it, puts his back to the sunset, so that he faces the east and then turns to the right to face south of east.
Right.
After the night settles, he may also find the North Star, turn his back to it for the south, and then turn to his left to face southeast. The southern regions of the earth that cannot use the North Star have other stars they can use. That cannot use the North Star have other stars they can use. What is mentioned here is simple and applicable by all people, not just mathematicians and geographers. Anyway, no geographer will claim that Mecca is north of North America, and nor would a mathematician if he knows geography. It is the Northeast person calling your bluff when he says, it seems you're lacking in basic geography. They are the people who are contradicting geography. If you truly know geography, basic grade school geography, you can refute a Northeast person. In fact, as will be seen if Allah willed, the method used to falsely verify the northeastern Qiblah is impractical for an illiterate person or someone who does not know the shape of the earth. Because they don't conceive that there might be someone who doesn't know the shape of the earth. But if we brought somebody who, let's say someone who living in the jungle, and he never had a Western education, and he embraced Islam. Toyib, if you tell him the earth is round, he might say, what? The earth ain't round, for example. So when did it become an obligation or a condition to know that the earth was the shape of the earth, whatever it is? That's not a condition. Likewise, if you told him the earth is moving, he'll say the earth is not moving.
Right.
For example, instead of using the signs we just mentioned, people who support Northeast have said, and this is a direct quote, since Earth has a spherical shape, we can use the formula for great circle to find Qibla direction for any point on the Earth. Indeed, this direction can be easily computed using the following one-line formula. I don't know how to read that formula.
Right.
Where, whatever that is between parentheses, is the latitude, longitude of your location, and whatever that is, equals 21.42, 39.83. Is the latitude, longitude of Kaaba. The returned value, A, specifies the angle of Qibla clockwise from true north. There is nothing easy about that for the layman. And it is in contradiction with the authentic hadith, Inna ummatun ummiyah la naktubu wa la nahsub. we are an illiterate nation. We do not write and we do not calculate.
Right.
And they hate this hadith. Northeast guys hate this hadith. Really, you'll be surprised that, and some of them have some formal religious education, but when they talk about Qiblah, when you bring up this hadith, full stop. They say, what do you? I mean, they're almost on the verge of denying the hadith, but they can't. It's narrated by Al-Bukhari. I challenged a couple people on YouTube. I went through looking for YouTube videos that talk about Qibla issue. And I told you one guy, he did engage me in a debate. And at the time, my approach was offensive. So, and I don't mean like name calling or anything like that. I just mean coming at their necks hard.
Right.
Because they're so confident that they're right.
Right.
And so I really just came at him. And this guy, once he recognized that I was giving him a hard time, then he just blocked me, and then he started erasing my comments and made it look like I couldn't answer him. And mashallah.
SubhanAllah.
But I did have enough conversations with those people to to come up with all of this stuff here, and add to that the lessons that we took. Sheikh Abdullah has a chapter about the Qibla, a long chapter about the Qibla in Sarihul Bayan.
Okay.
Also, what I learned about Qibla in what we took from fiqh in some of the explanations of Abu Shuja', and also talk about the Qibla in Fathul Wahhab. So yeah, all of that combined, this and those lessons we took combined with the debates that I've had, this is the result of that.
Have anybody like changed that you know of, like from you establishing?
No one that I argued with changed, but people on the sidelines have contacted me and they told me that they changed.
Okay.
And really, that's what I was doing it for. I didn't expect for someone who's going to argue with me like that to really change his position on the Qibla.
Right. But viewers, people who view and listen.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Alhamdulillah. Are these places like communities like in New York and other places?
Well, just individuals, not communities.
Okay, individuals. Okay.
Yeah, and also we had people change their Qiblas, but once they changed their Qiblas, they became alienated from their own people.
Right, I figured that.
So then they went back.
Oh, they went back. Wow.
Yeah, like there was one girl, she accepted and she understood. But then after some time, she started coming back with questions, like basically trying to find a way to face Northeast. When she couldn't find a way, then she started to like change and started to say, well, why we can't look at the way of traveling and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
So, she couldn't take it. She wasn't strong enough to stand firm, so she went back.
Yeah.
So we can stop there, inshallah. But just this footnote here, underneath of the hadith, Inna ummatun ummiyah. Number 28. Check the explanation of the hadith. This is just a bunch of shuruh for this hadith. Fathul Bari by Ibn Rajab, Tarh al-Tathrib fi Sharh al-Taqrib, and then it continues on the next page. Umdatul Qari, Sharh Sahih al-Bukhari. In two places he talked about that hadith. So I just grabbed those quotes and translated them real quick to show the right meaning of that hadith.